All eyes on Group B to cap off Day 3 at the World Juniors as Russia battles the Czech Republic. The Russians kicked off their World Junior Redemption Tour with a statement win over one of their bitter rivals.
But a quick chance to score! Walks in and snaps it home. Their first winning against the United States since 2016.
Tonight, the Red Machine will be looking for revenge against a Czech side that pulled off the upset last year in the Czech Republic.
Back at the point, getting scored! The host Czechs have stunned the Russians.
It's time for the final clash of the day. Czech Republic, Russia, next. Happy holidays once again from Edmonton, Alberta. Day 3 of group play in the bubble. And we finish with one of hockey's oldest rivalries, the Czech Republic and Russia. Hello, Canada. Thank you for spending some of your Sunday with us. It's James Duthie and Bob McKenzie for the finale of our triple header from the World Juniors. It is the Czechs and the Russians. And yesterday was blowout day at the World Juniors with the favored teams outscoring the weaker teams 34-3. It wasn't pretty to watch. But today, the underdogs have come to play. The Swiss hung around with Finland most of the game before losing 4-1. Slovakia gave Canada all sorts of trouble before falling 3-1. We'll see if the Czechs can go one step further and upset the Russians. To get you ready for it, Gordon Miller and Ray Ferraro.
When Valery Bragin was coaching the Russian national junior team, you rarely saw 18-year-old players in the lineup. He only had 3 last year, but Igor Larionov has 7 this year, including Vasily Ponomaryov.
Second-round pick by Carolina, played a terrific game in the opener against the United States, scored a couple of goals, and including this deflection where he's in front of the net and he's going to work himself into good position. What we saw from him so far here in Edmonton is a good skater, strong on the puck, will get to the front of the net, and Larionov wants his team to play a possession style. Ponomaryov is able to do that. He and his line mates had a terrific start to the tournament, and they'll go back at it here again. Same lineup in Game 2.
Czechs won the preliminary round battle against the Russians last year. They've actually won 3 of the last 5 meetings between these two countries.
Yeah, the Czechs played a funny first game against Sweden. They actually looked really good for almost half the game, Bob, and then fell apart, and the score ended up being a blowout. So they go with the goalie change on this day.
Yeah, it was interesting. When I was watching that Sweden game, and by no means was I putting the 7-1 loss to Sweden in the opening game at the feet of goaltender Nick Malik, but there were times when he looked a little shaky, and I was really surprised that the Czech coach did not go for an in-game goalie change, if nothing else, to try and change the momentum. He is going back, though, to Lucas Parik in this game, not to be confused with Nick Malik. Parik, of course, plays for Spokane in the Western Hockey League and has been drafted by the LA Kings. He played a couple of games at the World Juniors for them last year. He's a big goaltender. He's got talent. I'll be curious. He's going to need to be really good against a Russian team that has a high-powered offense, and Igor Larionov has changed up his lines a little bit, messed around with his first line, see if he can get a little more balanced attack, and Parik is going to have to be real good if the Czechs are going to have any chance to beat the Russians.
This has been a really good and really competitive rivalry of late at the World Juniors. You heard Gordon mention the Czechs winning 3 of the last 5. The last 4 games between the two, despite the Russians being heavy favorites most times, have all been decided by a single goal. We'll take one more break and get you back for the drop of the puck between the Czech Republic and Russia in Edmonton.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
It's the third game on day 3 of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship as old rivals, the Czech Republic and Russia, meet. The officials are Kyle Kowalski from Edmonton, Olivier Gouin from Laval, Quebec, the linesman Maxime Chaput from Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, and Kelsey Mahoney of Merrill, Manitoba. Starting in goal for Russia is the 18-year-old Yaroslav Askarov, allowed 3 goals on 26 shots in Russia's 5-3 win over the United States, playing in his second World Junior Championship. Lukas Parik is back for the Czech Republic as well. Was with them last year, playing for the Spokane Chiefs in the Western Hockey League last year. Igor Larionov turned 60 earlier this month. Member of the IHF Hall of Fame, played his last game at the World Junior Championship 40 years ago today. Karol Hlinek is the head coach of the Czech national team, the first time coaching them in international competition. Began coaching at the age of 27.
All right, boys, have fun.
Gouin gets things going. The Czechs are the home team, have the last change. We mentioned off the top of the show, they've had success against the Russians in recent years at the World Junior, mostly in the preliminary round. The Russians have had their number in the medal round. Mohamedulin lost the puck to Lang. In shoots, and a quick save by Askarov. Mark Lang trying to pull that free. And here's Ponomaryov with it. The 18-year-old drops it back. The 7-on Chizyakov. Chizyakov plays for Omsk in the KHL, where his head coach is former NHL coach Bob Hartley. Puck pulls and throws that ahead. Svozil goes back for it. Stanislav Svozil lost the handle back at the point as Chayko with a long shot. Askarov, or rather, Parik makes the stop, hopping up to get in the way of that, and he pounces on the rebound.
A little bit of a scrambly start for both clubs, really. Mohamedulin, who can really handle the puck and skate with it. Whoops, he bobbles it around, and Long is able to get the first shot of the game as he takes the turnover and shoots one on the ice that Askarov handles pretty easily. I'm interested to see Askarov today if he is able to stop the puck with a little bit more control than he had in the opener. The puck bobbled around on him a lot. Even though he had only given up 1 goal for most of the game, he gave up 2 quick ones, and that game got tight in a hurry.
Czechs lost their opener 7-1 to Sweden. They were 8th last year, lost their quarterfinal game 5-0 to the Swedes. The Czechs have not won a medal in the last 15 World Junior Championships. Their last medal was in 2005, a bronze in Grand Forks. Penalty coming up to the Czechs. Mohamedulin back to pick it up. Russians only had 1 power play in that win against the United States. So you get the extra skater on. And Chizyakov kicks his way out slowly for Ponomaryov. Drops it back to Chizyakov. Big wide he goes for Gutsu. Gutsu spins it down to Ponomaryov. Reaching for it there was Styrstov, but the Czechs touch up. And we'll get a hooking call with 1:56 gone. And Russia goes to the power play.
Watch how passively the Czechs play this in the middle of the ice. They're in basically a 5-man box in the middle, and Bashkirov just weaves and slithers his way right through the middle of it. I'm not so sure giving this Russian team more space to skate with the puck is the best way to go about it.
So Pikorka goes off. Pikorka goes off, rather, and the Russians go to the power play. Here's Chizyakov. Drops it back. Mohamedulin with a quick shot, and Parik knocks that away. Mohamedulin can really shoot it. First round pick of the Devils. Chizyakov even shoots. He fired that wide. Chizyakov's a Nashville pick. Here's Mohamedulin. Across to Chizyakov. Walks in. Wires and fires, and Mohamedulin pounded that wide.
It's a good block in the middle of the ice by Koffer. The Czech forward got out to get a leg on that.
Here's Kudinov. Tied up by Koffer, and Koffer plays it back down the ice. Mohamedulin takes the return pass with Groshev. It bounced away from him, and the Russians make a change. Shakir Mohammedoulin winds his way through center ice, drops it back. Chinahov lost the puck, and with time, it's sent down the ice by David Jiricek. Askarov leaves it there for Chayka. Daniil Chayka had a couple years for Guelph in the Ontario League. Chinahov. They have a volley on Amirov. That's knocked away. And sent down the ice by Martin Baranek. Chayka. Up ahead to Amirov. Amirov got slammed into the sideboards there by Coutil. Puck loose to the side of the goal, fed back. Chinahov to Chayka. Chinahov has a look, feeds back to Chayka. To Amirov. Amirov shoots, and that's blocked in front as well by Baranek. Couple good shots blocked by the Czechs here in the penalty kill. Final seconds now on the power play. Amirov walks in, shoots, that's blocked again. And that may have knocked the blade off the skate of Baranek as he makes his way to the Czech bench. Puck loose in front under a pile of players.
Yeah, good call, Gord. He's talking to the equipment trainer at the boards. He's showing him his foot. No medical help, but he needs some of that.
Those click blades can come out sometimes, and when they do, you're helpless.
You got to get the right size too, or else it's not going to work.
His blade is on the ice near the face-off circle.
There's the block. This is earlier on where Hoffer's in a bad spot.
Oof.
But he's able to get his left leg on that. You get that far away, it's a bit of a wild card where that puck's going to go. Cleaning off the blade, making sure they've got the right size and the right one, and they'll click it right back on.
Now the players have their names on them. They etch your name in them. Then you know you've made it, right?
Yeah, we had that quite often.
Well, the gloves, right? If you had your name on your gloves,
that was a big deal.
You were not a minor leaguer then. You were not a guy.
But the skate thing, man, you had your skates in an old pair that was your spares that you never wanted to put on because they didn't fit.
Templey swings out in front. Chance now fired wide by Svozil. Good look there for the Czechs. And now Groshev back for Russia. Threads that pass ahead, moving it over. Backhand shot at the outside of the post by Bardakov. Here's Bardakov back with it. Centers it. Ponomaryov fanned on it. And the loose puck is knocked away by Long. Mohammedoulin had that skip away, and Templey banks it off the boards and back out. Chichikov snaps that pass ahead to Podkolzin. Now busting in is Afanasyev. He gets roughed up in the corner. Afanasyev plays it back around. Vasily Podkolzin goes back to Mohammedoulin. Across to Chichikov. Traveling forward is Kusnedinov to Mohammedoulin. That long shot was blocked again. A block for the Czech Republic, this time by David Vitor. Baranek back has it back down to the Russian zone. 20 years ago, these two nations played in what I will still say is the worst game ever played, the gold medal game in the 2000 tournament in Skellefteå. As Stefanov works in, drops it back, hurts at the shot. Goes over the glass and out of play. That game was scoreless through 3 periods of regulation and a full overtime before the Czechs went into shootout, where we think they might have dumped it in the shootout.
Well, they're not playing a very aggressive style here tonight. I'm sure they would like one of those, Gord. They're back in the neutral zone. They're trying to pack up the ice and push the Russians outside. And it was 4 shots 6 minutes into the game. The Czechs have 1, but they're not hunting the puck at all.
Shake it back with it. That long shot knocked away by Paris. Fed back at the point. Kuznetsov to Chayka with a shot that's punched away by Paris. Move back to the point. Kuznetsov fanned that shot. It was blocked by Rashka. Adam Rashka gets a step. Busts in. Rashka in. Shoots, and Askarov turns him away. Rashka back in the lineup for the Czechs after serving a 1-game suspension for an illegal check. in the Czechs pre-tournament game against the Slovaks. Raška, San Jose 7th round pick. Kirsanov swings it across to Chinakhov. And Kanayev has it back now for the Russians. Artemi Kanayev, a San Jose 2nd round pick. Races back, gathers that up. He's the oldest player in the tournament, turns 20 on January the 4th. Kirsanov drops it back, and here's Amirov with it.
And look at this, the Czechs have one player there, everybody else back on their own side of center.
Amirov plays it around. There's Long back with it. Scooped up there by Bashkirov. And the Russians complete a change here. 7.5 gone in a scoreless first period. Chichikov. Lead pass for Groshev was broken up. They'll try the other side now with Ponomaryov. Puts it high in the air and leaping to glove that is Parik. Great chance for the Czechs in the opening moments. Adam Raška turned away by Askarov.
Very few right-handed catching goalies. We've talked about it a little bit through the tournament already. You're going to see a little bit of a different look for the shooter. Raška bolts down the left side. He's going what normally would be top glove. This is top blocker. It's a tougher shot to score on a goaltender top blocker than top glove. Raška would have to go short side. It's an awkward shot, one you don't look at very often. He looks up, the goalie's got the gloves on the other hand.
Dinov works in. Drops that back to Cheka. Around for Dinov. Has time, still with it. Dinov in, shoots, and Parik makes the save with that left glove. There were 87 goalies that played in the NHL last year. Only 6 were right-handed catchers, and only 3 played more than 10 games.
See, Parik's got his Spokane Chiefs mask where he played last year, injured in last year's tournament. Had a good year in Spokane. 22 wins and a .917 save percentage.
Great personality, a really lively kid. Hung outside the Czech dressing room a lot last year and would talk to anyone who passed by. And it's kind of unnerving to hear someone from the Czech Republic in perfect English said, "Hey, Gord, they haven't spoke for me." Very popular in Spokane. Vincent drops it back. Kanayev. Out ahead for Safonov. Drops it back to Firstov. Centering pass is knocked down by Svozil. Stanislav Svozil. To the line, and now Svozil brings it out. A little drop pass there for Raška that misfired. And Safonov's got it back with Firstov. Safonov works in, fails on the shot, it dribbles down and chip towards the goal by Firstov. Brought back by Nyman. Nyman comes busting in, he's muscled off the puck there by Chichakov. Amirov. Reds out ahead, that's knocked away by Kokorka. In comes Nyman. Stripped of the puck, now played across. There's Krutil. Has time, shoots, that's deflected away as that hit the foot of Bashkirov. Krutil throws it down behind the goal. Trying to find Rulovsky with it. Back at the point, that shot right on by Krutil, kicked away by Askarov. Nyman slides it back in the corner. And Askarov, who loves to play the puck, slides it back across to Mohamedulin. And again, he waits as the Russians are completing a change. Past the midway point of the opening period, still no score. There's the Czechs. 5 guys skating backwards. It's like the 90s are back.
Oh, please, no. I have nightmares of the Devils doing that, just putting a weighted blanket on the game. You couldn't get away from it.
They went 2.5 years, New Jersey did in the 90s, without surrendering a 2-goal lead. Jacob goes back, and icing call.
Closed captioning of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Yamaha. Revs your heart.
Back here in Edmonton on the third day of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship. Earlier today, Finland beat Switzerland. Canada against Slovakia. Those games tight in the third period. Tomorrow the Slovaks play Germany in the night game. Austria, Sweden in the afternoon.
Germany will have a crew of players tomorrow.
But Colson slides that back, and that long shot taken by Kanayazev goes wide.
The rest of their players out of quarantine, fortunately, thankfully.
But Colson loose in the corner with it. Vasily Podkolzin, a centering pass, and that just missed. He's jamming at it in front. Goes Afanasiev.
That was a good play by Podkolzin. Crisp pass across the front.
Left back in by Baranek. Waits for help to arrive, brings it down. Vitush into the corner with him. That sharp angle shot was taken by Mujic. Hit the referee in the lower leg. 7-3 are the shots in favor of Russia. There is no score. Kanayazev through the middle. That's knocked down by Mujic. Plays it ahead for Baranek. Baranek plays for Mujic. Broken up by Kanayazev. Oh, look out. He's kicking it hard by Baranek. Mujic walks out, waits, and shoots. Fired up through the traffic line. Mahamadulin up for Gritsu. Oh, thumped down on a hard shot there by Juracek.
Not eligible to the draft until 2022. Juracek is an impressive young defenseman.
And now Rashka sent flying by Gritsu. Pavel Novak works in, shoots from a sharp angle, and Askarov makes the stop. Bodies flying here between the Czech Republic and Russia in a scoreless first.
The Czechs had to play their first game of the tournament without the feisty Adam Rashka. 16 seconds left in the pre-tournament game. He got a game suspension for that hit. A hit from behind. Not a great hit. Rashka's a feisty, energetic player. As I mentioned, drafted in the 7th round. He played in Rimouski. When all the scouts were up there watching Alexis Lafreniere, they got a glimpse of Adam Rashka. San Jose picked him in the 7th round. I think he's a pretty good player. He gets a lot done. He's going to be able to penalty kill. He skates well, and certainly sees in the middle of a lot.
So the start of the Quebec League season was delayed. So Rashka decided not to come over with a quarantine for 2 weeks. A bouncing puck, and Askarov hangs on to that. Then he would have had to go home and come back in quarantine again, so he decided to remain in the Czech Republic. Plays for Trinec in the Czech Extra League. And there was a dangerous one for Askarov.
Got to follow it in. It took a deflection from Gutin. It bounced, and he's got to stay with it. It hits him on the arm, but what I like best about this stop, Gord, is the puck stayed in front of him. The other night against the United States, it was like a hot potato. It was all over the place on him, and really never seemed as settled in as you keep waiting for him to be.
Kanayazev works his way in, shoots from a sharp angle. Tariq waved at that, then hit the post.
He just whiffed on that. There wasn't much on that shot at all, and hit the pipe and stayed out.
Kanayazev chips it back out. Bardakov up for Grosjean. He's level as Radek Kucherik stepped into him.
Did some good hits here in this first period.
Bardakov caught up by Krutu. Now Grosjean back on it. Grosjean, one of 3 returnees from last year's team.
He's really shown growth year to year here. Powerful, strong forward.
And a great breakout pass to Bardakov for a key goal against the United States. Mahamadulin steps up. Mahamadulin banks to the cross for Husnudinov. Around for Shinahov. Winds away right back to center ice. Plays it back for Podkolzin. Shinahov Askarov turned it over. Long drops it back, and then shot by Mishak. Gloved away by Askarov.
And there's another. We saw one end with Parikh. He whipped on it, and Askarov boxed that one away.
In comes Safonov. Walks in, feeds across the foot cold, and his shot was blocked by a sprawling Jan Mishak. Montreal Canadiens second rounder. Brought in by Long. Trying to find Tepley, and the puck bounces back in behind Askarov, who's lost his goal stick. Now he has a defenseman stick. Jacob gave him his.
Man, he stopped that one, but that went through him as well.
Baranek works in. Ritsa picks it up. Nujic, rolling puck, fired down. Askarov wants to play it. And drops it off for Kanayev. Rink wide. Spiridonov drops it back. Artemi Kanayev played this building in the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, the under-18 tournament played in the summer. Fires it down, but icing called against Russia.
Well, Askarov throws Mohamedulin's stick back to the bench, and he's got his twig back, and some nervous moments here for him. This one goes right through him and over the top of the net. He's not sure where it is. That's where he lost his stick. Now he's just going to wait here. How about give it to the guy with the little stick? It's a little easier to play it for him. He is involved.
And right on the face-off, a good stop by Askarov. Takes it away from Michael Gut. No score with 4:43 to go here in the second. First of it.
The 11th overall pick by the Nashville Predators. Askarov is an acrobatic, athletic goaltender who at times shows complete dominance. You saw his stats before the break in the KHL, where he's had a terrific start. He was excellent against the U.S. for 2 periods, and then he gave up a couple, but he boxed the puck around. He's an adventure on almost any close-in chance. He's so quick. His legs are so strong, and I just keep waiting for him, Gord, to solidify the way that he plays in the net. Come out and be square on the puck. It wasn't there last year, and it's been there only in spots so far this year.
Kubicek throws that back to center ice, and it goes off the stick of Chichakov into the Russian bench.
Igor Larionov wants his team to play with puck possession, to have their skill on display a little more than perhaps the teams in the past, and it's really not been a great period for them. I think the Czechs have played this period as perfectly as they possibly can. They're too passive in the middle of the ice for me, but they have not given up much. Like, look at them, they're all back within a stride of the red line.
Kuznetsov for Cheka. Up ahead to Groshev. Panamaria got tangled up in the corner with Svozil, a very physical Czech team you see here in the first period. Now flip back across. Berlovsky takes a hard bump from Kuznetsov along the boards. Nyman spins and shoots. Askarov makes the save, and there's no rebound. Igor Larionov trying to end the Russian gold medal drought in this tournament. They last won gold in 2011. This is the longest gold medal drought in their country's history. Hard to believe. Russia's won 1 gold medal in the last 17 years. They finished second 7 times in that period, including last year.
And 9 of the last 10 years, they have a gold, 4 silver, and 4 bronze.
By the way, that assistant coach is not 4 feet taller than Igor. He stands old school Russia on the bench. Igor stands more North American behind the bench.
Also for Russia, Nikolai Habibulin, who is the goaltending coach, has gone back home. His father has passed away. Our condolences to Nikolai and his family.
Terrific guy. Mishak fires it wide.
The Bulin wall could play. He was good.
Centering pass just missed by Mishak. More pressure here by the Czechs in the second half of the period. The shots are now 10-8 in favor of the Czech Republic. Kanayazev. Muzik gets a stick on that. And then Korka gathers it back up. Mishak plays it ahead for Muzik, who whistled that wide. And Amirov scoops it back up for Russia. 18 of these Russian players are drafted. 5 of them are first-round pick. There's Nadinov. Up at Afanasiev, and Afanasiev can't corral the bouncing puck. Vito. Goes Nadinov. Works in. The play is called offside at the Czech line. NFL Week 16 concludes tomorrow as the playoff-bound Buffalo Bills kick off against the not playoff-bound New England Patriots. When's the last time we said that? On Monday Night Football. Action gets underway at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on TSN and CTV2, Canada's home for the NFL.
One of our excellent directors is proudly wearing his Bills gear around.
He's got the old Jim Kelly era Bills hat on with the mesh in the back, I think.
I would love to see him belly flop on a table. I don't think he weighs enough to knock that table in half.
Strange tradition. Kuznetsov.
Yes, it is.
Goes in deep for it. Pick free. Another big hit there as Michael Guk was spilled, but the Czechs maintained possession. That shot was blocked as Rashko got that away, and now Gritsuk back the other way. And Rashko on the back check takes it away.
Really good effort for the Czechs here. Back off the puck. Really squeezing Russia's time away.
Loose of the line, that's poked out. And in comes Rashko, one-on-one with Kashanov. Shoots, that little dribbler goes down to Askarov. Comes it across to Kashanov.
You see the energy that he plays with. He's always on the puck.
There's Nadinov, crisscrossing there with Podkolzin. Picked up by Korka. There's Nadinov, tangles there with Kofer. Final minute now, the opening period. Kanayazev drops it off to Podkolzin. And Podkolzin shoots it down. Mohamedulin across to Ponomaryov. Jakov plays it in. Afanasiev works it free. Afanasiev plays it back to Mohamedulin. A rolling puck slides it across to Jakov. Jakov across to Mohamedulin. 20 seconds to go in the period. To Ponomaryov. Down to Podkolzin. Feeds it back. Mohamedulin steps into that. Parik got a piece of it the way by. Now from behind the net, Afanasiev tried to flip that back in front, and Parik freezes it.
Nice little flurry for Russia here towards the end of the period. Podkolzin makes a nifty move in the corner to lose the Czech defenseman. His pass deflects out. And Mohamedulin, who you mentioned earlier, Gord, can really fire it. Rifles it just wide of the net.
He would tee it up with regularity. The Hlinka Gretzky Cup in the summer of 2019 wasn't always on the net.
Could be an elusive target.
Rashka chips that out, and the Czechs and Russians will go to the dressing room. Scoreless through the opening 20 minutes. The shots favor the Czechs 11-9. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our first intermission is coming up.
NBA on TSN continues tomorrow with a matchup between the Grizzlies and the Nets. And that one's followed by a clash between the Trailblazers and the world champion Los Angeles Lakers. Action gets underway 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN. James Duthie and Bob McKenzie back with your first intermission. So nice after yesterday in those 3 lopsided games to see 3 really competitive games on this day. Canadian fans probably thought that game was a little too competitive, but the Czechs, having won 3 of the last 5 against the Russians, there's something about playing their rivals in group play that brings out the best in them. Almost a perfect period for an underdog.
Yeah, and Ray talked about how they're just stacking up in the neutral zone. They're trying to play the rope-a-dope. They want to counterattack and capitalize on mistakes. And they did that actually pretty well in the first period. Started off with the Russians having lots of zone time, but not really getting inside to the inside areas. And then a turnover created, and Adam Rashka comes the other way and gets the shot. Best chance of the period really belonged to him. And Rashka, of course, missed that game against Sweden because he was suspended. He's a good shooter, and that'll really help them in terms of their offensive ability. But they've got to play the rope-a-dope style that they like and keep the Russians pushed to the outside so there's not too much pressure on their own goalie.
Well, since you highlighted him, let's hear from the San Jose 7th-round pick. Here is Adam Rashka with Ryan Rishaug.
Tight game so far with the Russians, and it's been physical. I know you like to play that way. Is that important for you to play that way against this team?
It's a better game. Play against Russia than Sweden or Finland. The Russia's guys is too tough, and I like tough game, so it's better for me.
You were teammates last year with Alexis Lafreniere. You played against each other at the World Juniors. I understand you're pretty good friends. How was it playing with him, and maybe tell us about your friendship?
Well, our friendship is good. We talk a lot. We talk about hockey and a lot of things. And it was pretty special play with him all season, and in 3 weeks play against him. So it was pretty weird.
Thanks for doing this, Al.
Yeah, thanks.
I tell you what, I don't always enjoy the NHL intermission interviews where it's the pucks get deep things over and over again.
Kids are so earnest.
I love it at these World Juniors. You talked before the game about the goaltending change to Lukáš Perík, and he looked really good except for one whiff that he'd probably like to have back.
Yeah, he's been a calming influence, I think, even though most of the shots, as I said, for the Russians came from the outside. And one outside shot that almost beat him, well, actually did beat him. He whiffed on a bit of a knuckleball, ended up hitting the crossbar, and he was able to get that. But he plays a little quieter game, more contained post to post than Nick Malik, who against the Swedes, and again, not blaming Malik for the 7-1 loss, but he got a little happy feet there where he was getting outside his post and out of control a little bit. And it seems like the Czechs are playing a confident game, but also they recognize this is their arch rival, the Russians, and they want to put their best foot forward.
Scoreless through one period of play. We will recap Canada's tight game against Slovakia, a lot tighter than most of us expected when we return. Highlights and analysis from Bob McKenzie right after this.
Character, integrity, respect. If we bring good sportsmanship on and off the ice, we can help end bullying.
Boy, our producer Billy is excited about this one. The Chiefs have the top seed, but the Bills can still get the second seed in the AFC if they win their last 2, including one over the Patriots. Monday Night Football on TSN and CTV2. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday night, hence the name, Monday Night Football. Slovakia, Canada. I know you watched it. Early first period. Dylan Cousins is stopped, but Jordan Spence, PEI, represent into the game only because of the suspension, and he has Canada on the board 1-0. And you think it might go the way the Germany game went, but alas, no. This game was tight. Second period. Devin Levi, he was just terrific all day long. Saved there, and then this one seals it. Dylan Cousins, great play. Phil Tomasino streaks in. Canada ends up winning 3-1. After the game, the birthday boy, Devin Levi, spoke to our Ryan Rishaug.
By Thomas.
On the broadcast tonight, there was a birthday message from your family. They spent lots there. Got quite a bit of airtime tonight, actually, as they were watching. What does it mean to you to see them on national TV and know that they've got your back?
I mean, it means the world for sure. I mean, I know they'd love to be here, and I wish they were. And it's. I mean, they're family. I love them, so it's good to know.
Can you imagine how hard it would be to be a loved one of a goaltender competing for Team Canada. It's so hard for the families of the goalies, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I just saw my mom on the screen freaking out. She's probably freaking out all game, but yeah, no, it's definitely hard for her, but I know she loves it, and I know my family's happy that I'm here, so I'm happy for them.
They should show our families watching during the intermissions.
My family doesn't watch.
Cindy and Brooksy all nervous at home as we do our comments. No, it's not being watched in my household either. So good. I mean, look at the Germany game. He was tested early, then not really tested at all. And those are sometimes the toughest games for goalies. And he's really answered so far in the first 2 games. What's impressed you most?
Well, he's inspired a lot of confidence. He's so calm, and he's not making any mistakes. And the lineup that Team Canada has, and Craig Button said it before the tournament, the goaltenders probably wouldn't need to steal games. They would just need to not give them away, and he's been more than steady. And obviously, in a 1-0 game, you're protecting that lead in the third period, and Canada really did lapse a little bit late, and he was really solid. He did the same thing in the game against the Russians. He inspired confidence in the pre-tournament game, and at the one-on-one play that he had with Stützle in the German game inspired confidence, and that performance inspired more confidence.
When we did our World Junior preview show, you said that Philip Tomasino was the real X factor for Canada. He didn't even play in the pre-tournament game against the Russians and has been excellent so far in the first 2 games.
Yeah, that 1-0 game, he sealed the deal really with the second goal, and it was a beauty. First off, team captain Dylan Cousins makes a great play to strip the puck from the from the Slovak coming across the blue line. As soon as I saw Tomasino going in the breakaway, I thought to myself, that's going in the back of the net, because I saw enough of the Oshawa Generals and the Niagara Ice Dogs last year in the OHL. He scored 40 goals in 62 games, had 100 points. And even though he was that 14th forward, he's got the ability to play, offensive ability, Nashville first rounder, as well as anybody on this team, really.
2 strange games for Canada. The lopsided win over Germany, this one much closer, but hey, they're where they wanted to be. 2-0, a day off, and then Switzerland is the next game on Tuesday.
Back here in Edmonton, no scoring in the first period. The Czechs got snowed under early by the Russians, but came back in the second half of the period. 11-9 the shots on goal in favor of the Czechs. We're going back here with Ray Ferraro. These kids are too young to remember the old days of the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia against Russia, but there were echoes of it here in the first period.
That was a really physical period. It started out early, as you mentioned, Gord, where Russia had the run of the play and controlled the puck. The Czechs all of a sudden started to get a little bit more physical, but it's not like the Russians went away. This was a very physical first period of hockey. There's not much room. Everybody pretty much is on the same page that Czechs need to be finished, that you can't let Russia skate around the ice very freely, as Igor Larionov would love his team to do. The Czechs played a pretty passive defensive style, but when they had the chance to finish, they were on the body.
He's very encouraging to his young players. He says he wants them to feel the joy they felt when they were youngsters playing hockey for the first time and be creative. We'll see how long that lasts in his coaching career.
Stop! No, wait.
Not everybody's got to be a grump, Gordon.
We're all just trying to be as sunny as you, Ray.
Well, I'm cheering for him because I hope that style of hockey is, you know, it doesn't mean that you be careless with the puck or you don't have any responsibility. It's when you have it, make a move with it, make a play.
Steal by Barnikov, he whistled that wide. Chichikov to Grosjean. His long shot hits Parik up high. The rebound drops down to Misha. Played back and brought him up Panamaria. Drops it back, hard shot by Grosjean. Kicked away by Parik. Bud Colson pivots back as the Russians are changing. Kuznetsov for Bud Colson. Shoots! And with that off the glass and back down the ice.
As Bud Colson skated by, he gave Parik a little tap on the pads.
Bud Colson back with it, banks it ahead. Finds Afanasiev, it goes off a leg and wide. Kucherov blocked that. Long shot taken there by Cheka, knocked away by Parik. Bud Colson. Cheka. Kuznetsov shoots and a pad save by Parik.
That's a good one, too.
Kuznetsov. In for Kuznetsov. Back at the point for Cheka. Kuznetsov, a long drive. That's tipped. Cheka steps up. A long shot by Colson drifts wide again.
Pretty good start for Russia here. They've onto their third line. They've had a couple of good shifts. They've kept the puck in the zone. No room for the Czechs to make a move.
Vitoš in across the line now for the Czechs. A poke check there by Kirsanov. Referee got crunched there in that collision as Atlantic got bumped into the sideboards. Kanayev out to center ice. That's knocked away. Shapiro was ranging back for it. Svozil, a shot that flutters wide. Rashka tried to leave it there, and the Russians break it out. Amirov straightened up by Rashka right in front of the Russian bench, and Amirov is shaken up as he heads to the bench. That was a hard shot. Good.
Amirov was not expecting Rashka to stand up there, and he got caught not bracing for the hit.
Firstov. Picks his way out of the zone, drops it back for Chistyakov. Banked down in the Czech zone. Parikov to play it. Safonov picks it up. Ilya Safonov. 6'4", 205 pounds. Chistyakov drops it back. Safonov works his way in. Feeds it back. Firstov. That shot flutters off a stick and wide, man. The Czechs have blocked a ton of shots here so far in this game. It gets by Chistyakov and back down the ice. Orlovsky. Basin backhand shot. Oh, what a save by Askarov, sprawling across to take it away.
He had to make a spectacular save because he turned the puck over again. There's just such a skittishness to Askarov. There's no reason to play this puck. The team is changing. There's nobody on the ice. He catches his defenseman standing still. Chistyakov has no way to turn and pivot. Then he has to make a great save. Oh, man, the shoulder pad of Rashka drives right into the mouth of Amirov on the bench. He's still there getting attention at the bench on the receiving end of a pretty big hit.
And the shoulder rides up through on the contact, so it's a clean hit.
There's nothing wrong with the hit at all, except it hurts.
Ponomaryov loose in the corner with it. Ponomaryov spins it back. Kuznetsov. Long shot off the end boards. Bardakov. For Ponomaryov, back to Kuznetsov, shoots. Parik makes the stop through the traffic. Rebound dropped down to Groshev, couldn't get a shot away. 2-2. Can't clear it out. The Russians keep the pressure on Kanayev. Drops it back to Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov. Back for Kanayev. Afanasyev. Long wrist shot punched away by Parik. But Colson banks that back and missed Kuznetsov, and he has to retreat back to the Russian zone to pick it up.
Gord, there was one shot in the first period that Parik whiffed on and it hit the goal post. But outside of that, he has been fantastic in goal here.
Vitoš works in and shoots. That was blocked by Mohamedulin. Bounced in behind the goal. Kuznetsov was trying to work it out. Here's Mohamedulin back with it. Kirsanov to the line, but not out. Svozil with a shot that was blocked. Lucic had it bounce off his stick. It's loose in the corner for a moment. Now Kirsanov lost that battle for the puck. Svozil. Duck was off the stick and wide. Here's Kirsanov. The Russians hemmed in here a little bit. Plays it back across. And Mohamedulin settles things down as both teams change. Long pass through the middle. Picked up by Chinahov. For the backhand shot. Stuck by Parik. Chistyakov had that chip by him. Kuznetsov goes back for it. Jan Kuznetsov in his second year at the University of Connecticut, UConn. The second-round pick of the Calgary Flames. Off the end boards it goes. Kukorka. Up for Jiricek. Fired down the Russian zone. Askarov out to play it again. Amirov's back out there for the Russians. Now back at the point. A hard shot taken there by Jiricek. Askarov the save. Rebound bounced away. And Amirov hands it back. Up ahead for Bashkirov. That's chopped down and moved up by Kukorka. Novak spins and shoots. Gloved down by Askarov. Slides that pass ahead to Chinaha. Hutsu drops it off for Safonov. That shot flutters wide. And now Safonov digs for it in the corner. Loose at the side of the net. Parik will hang on to that. Still waiting for the first goal here in the second period between the Czechs and Russians. Time now for Gear Up with Skip the Dishes. So Martin Baranek does the right thing, blocks a shot, but a new age of hockey that knocked the blade out of his blade holder, so they've got to go retrieve it and then click it back in. These click-in blades, a relatively recent development and a welcome one for trainers for the most part, but for players, when the thing drops off, you are helpless.
I'm not so sure it's a great thing for the trainers. The problem is, if you get a nick on your skate, the guys come to the bench and they say, hey, I need new steel. And the trainer's got to lug the steel out of the bag and put new skate. When we had a nick in your skate, they stoned it out.
Right, yeah.
And you had to use it to the end of the period. They weren't running back. The only guy that had his skate sharpened 15 times a period was Mark Messier. When Mess would fall down, everyone would yell the trainer's name because they knew Mess needed his skate sharpened. If you needed your skate sharpened at the same time, you were out of luck.
In fact, he had his own skate sharpened.
What?
With
the Rangers, they had a bag of skates that they carried around. Mess was always tinkering with his skates. 1/8 of an inch to the left, 1/8 of... I just wanted the blade on the boot. That was about as technical as I could get. He knew, though. He had some he liked, some he didn't. But if he lost an edge, and you were in line, you were now second in line.
Automatic a quick shot that goes high and wide. When he played here, I actually got a pair of his old ones. They were so stiff, my feet almost fell off. They were like triple stitched.
Seemed to work for him. Pretty powerful guy.
Yeah. Pictures of him all over this building. And the other Oilers from the glory years of the 1980s. Bardakov. Up for Groshev. Great move. Walks in. Parik makes a point-blank save. Maxim Groshev streaking in. Now Bardakov centers it. And it dribbles down to Parik. He'll hang on to that.
Lucas Parik continues to play very well for the Czechs here. He played in 2 games in last year's tournament. And here's the Askarov save where he goes all the way across. We saw him make a save like that in the opener where he's just able to flex way across the net, cover the whole bottom of the net. I think if you're deking Askarov and you're going to shoot it on the ice, you're wasting your time.
Mujic taken down by Kuznetsov. Czechs didn't like that hit. Vitosh has that pass picked off. Podkolzin brings it back the other way. Podkolzin drops it back for Cheka. Kustudinov to Cheka. Afanasiev swings it back across. The pass missed Kustudinov. Afanasiev a shot, that's blocked, as once again Vitosh gets in the way. Rashka fell. And the puck loose at center ice. Novak swings back and gets tangled up with his teammate Vitosh. Rashka moves that ahead for Novak. A little backhand shot, and the save is made by Askarov.
This is not that different from the game we just finished watching, the Canada-Slovakia game, where you kept expecting the heavyweight to spread the game out. It just never spread out. Minnesota Wild draft pick. A pretty nice rush by Pavel Novak. the top scorer in Kelowna last year in the Western Hockey League, 58 points in 55 games.
One of the most productive Europeans I've ever had in Kelowna, and they've had some good ones there. Brought in by Czech, a centering pass, that missed.
There's some pretty impressive kids in the 2022 draft here. Czech is one of them.
He's a late 2003 birthday, hence he drops back to the 2022 draft. Players born after September 15th in their birth year have to wait an extra year to be picked. Chinaha drops that back to Amirov, winding his way in. Amirov shoots from a sharp angle. And Parik makes the easy stop, and there's no rebound. Past the midway point of the second period, no score between the Czechs and Russians. Next stop for the defending champions from Canada is on Tuesday at 5:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific, as Canada takes on Switzerland. Swiss beaten by the Slovaks in their opener, 1-0. And then beaten this morning, or earlier today rather, by the Finns.
That was not an easy game either for the Finns. The Finns ended up scoring 3 power play goals in a 4-1 win.
Tucked at the line by Spiridonov. At the side of the goal, that's picked off and moved up by Mishak, who had a terrific tournament last year for the Czechs. And afterwards, went to Hamilton in the Ontario League and ripped it up, 15 goals in 22 games in the second half of the OHL season. Safonov busts in. Digs for the puck in the corner now, Safonov. Got up by Kubicek. Now picked out, and Spiridonov stick blew up as he tried to take that shot. You finally get a look. Here's Safonov with it. Now a centering pass. Parik's looking behind him. And he's got it. As the Russians generate some chances, set up there by Bardakov.
And there is not much easy ice on either side of the red line here. The Russians have controlled more of the puck, but just can't shake loose here for a chance. There's the puck in between the legs of Parik. That's a good chance for Grosek as he one-times this puck, and you'll see the puck squeak around in the middle of his legs. But he's able to stay on top of it.
Face off, not done fairly. 2 games tomorrow. Austria plays Sweden at 4 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock Eastern, then Slovakia plays Germany. Kuznetsov fans on that shot. Picked up by Mujik. Kuznetsov, range is back on him. Kuznetsov is 6'4", a couple hundred pounds. We mentioned he moved to North America at the age of 16 to continue his hockey career, learned English, and is now in his second year studying business management at UConn.
One of the youngest players in college hockey this year.
Would have been last year too, I guess.
Just amazing, really, when you think of him coming to America to play hockey, to get an education. And must have been a lot going on to get to the point he's at now.
There's Nadinov trying to dig it free. Mujik, a chance that's punched away by Askarov. Kuznetsov plays it ahead. Afanasiev lifts it back to center ice. Rashka back to pick it up. Nadinov gives him a couple of bumps. It's moved in by Baranek. Back comes Russia the other way. Nadinov. That's poked away by Pikorka. Man, the Czechs have defended well.
They've played that style about as well as you can. I mean, look at them. They're all going backwards. They just don't want to get into any one-on-one skill battles with Russia, it appears.
We talk about the fact that they won the World Junior 20 years ago. They won back-to-back World Juniors. They won the World Championship and were the reigning Olympic champions at that time. They were the undisputed kings of men's hockey, and now we got a penalty call, a trip coming with 7:40 to go here in the second period, and the Czechs are going to the power play.
Russia number 3, 2 minutes for kneeing.
Kanayev goes off for the knee.
I think this one's helped along here a little bit. I don't even really think there was much contact at all, but Novak goes down, and the Czechs will get their first power play. Tepley is their shooter, number 11. He'll get up on the left circle. They'll also work it off the other side where they scored a power play goal in their opener against the Swedes, where they moved the puck really quickly into the slot for a quick one-time.
Skarov was way out the play, and as Amirov was closing in on him. Tariq, rather. And now Mishak with it. Mishak throws it through the middle. Baranek shoots. He whistled that wide. Mishak can't hold the line. And the Czechs regroup. Jan Mishak winds in, slides it across. Here's a chance. Fired right on. Save made by Askarov, who turns that away from Tepley. Tepley drifts in now. Looking for the pass across. Mishak. Drops it down. Here's Hosh back at the point. Long wrist shot got through. Askarov save. Rebound loose in front. And Long couldn't reach that. Hosh. Cross to Tepley. Tepley. Back to Hosh. He missed it. A chance now for the Russians short-handed. Bashkirov works in as the Russians get some fresh legs on the ice. 45 seconds to go in the Czech power play, and the puck goes over the glass and out.
For 4 years, teams have done amazing things to raise the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. But this year, ideas triumph. What would you do with $100,000 for your community?
Mikhail Tepley had 29 goals in Winnipeg last year in the Western Hockey League. Takes a slick pass from Mishak. Mishak puts the puck between the stick and feet of Chaika, and that opens Tepley up for the shot. Deflected a little bit for the save by Askarov.
At the point, Yakov feeds that down. But Colson took a bump to try to take some time off the clock. He's 1-on-3 down there. Now gets some help. Kustadinov comes in. He slides it back to Yakov. Tariq banks it back around. And the puck skipped over the glass, and the face-off will come outside, apparently. Hit the official. So 16 seconds to go in the Czech power play.
Right to a standstill. 20-20 are the shots on goal here. Whoever writes these scripts sometimes doesn't quite get them right, do they? I mean, I would have suspected the Russians would have been too quick and too skilled, and even though we saw the Czechs play at a pretty good pace for the pre-tournament game and maybe half of the game against Sweden, I didn't think that they would be able to do this against Russia. This has been pretty impressive.
Skojil plays it back in. Just 5 seconds to go in the Czech power play. Sharp angle shot. Askarov gloves that. 3 shots for the Czechs on this power play, which is 1 second remaining, and they let Kanayev out early. Good behavior, maybe?
Come on back in. Have a seat. We'll let you out in a moment.
Gets a warning there in the face-off circle.
Kanayev's been out of the penalty box twice already. Now he's slow getting out of the box. Almost sure. Like he wasn't believing it.
Pass just missed him. Racing back is Pikorka. As Kanayev is shadowing him. Loose at center ice. Grosjev works in, shoots. Parik gets a pad on that. Taking forward is Ponomaryov, couldn't get to it. Bardakov drops it back. Long shot taken by Kanayev, knocked away. Grosjev feeds it back to him. Kirsanov winds his way in. Kirsanov plays it back across. Ponomaryov back to Grosjev. Ponomaryov plays it across, and Kanayev fanning that shot. Bardakov trying to work it free. Ponomaryov comes in to help out. His drop pass is picked off, and Korka in desperation pounds it down the ice. But these tired Czechs have to stay out there.
That's a little bit of a panic exhaustion play for Klakora, as he had time to flip that out to center ice, but he just blasts it down the ice. And all of the Czech players on the ice, all 5 of them at various points here, have had their stick across their waist, bent over, trying to get a little air, take a little time.
Bashkirov won the draw. Plays that back. Chichikov takes the return pass, winds and fires, and Parik fights that off. Bashkirov to Chinahov. Now Chinahov steps into that and fires it wide as well. Bashkirov works back in. Slides it back to Chichakov. To Mohamedulin, who bobbled it for a moment. Back across to Chichakov. Now the Czechs are really tired. Amirov, Mohamedulin shoots. Parik makes the save up high. Amirov, Chichakov, Mohamedulin. Here's Amirov back with it. And the shot by Chichakov goes wide. And the Czechs can barely get to the puck now. Amirov with it. Goal or penalty? Mohamedulin.
It's coming almost to
Amirov.
Something inevitable, isn't it?
Chichakov back to Mohamedulin. That shot flows wide from Chinahov, and Mohamedulin did a good job to keep it alive for a moment. Now Brylowski gets around him. Brylowski busts in, drops it back, score! Philip Kofer. And it was a goal, but the most unexpected one for the exhausted Czechs.
I can't believe the gas somewhere deep in the tank that Jakub Rychlovsky somehow found. What a play he makes. Mohamedulin keeps the puck in at the blue line. They've been on the ice for well over a minute and 20 seconds. He races down the ice, and this pass is perfect on the tape to Kofer. And he pounds it into the net. Philip Kofer's first of the tournament. Askarov can't get across the net, and the Czechs, unlikely 1-0 lead. You got to see how tired these kids are by the time this puck goes into the net. Well, unbelievable turn of events.
The other 3 were straggling to the bench on the change, which finally came. But Brylowski turns on the afterburners, and the Czechs have grabbed the lead. We mentioned they've won 3 of the last 5 meetings. Chica with a quick shot. And the save is made by Parik. Philip Kofer has the goal. The busted open. 1-0. The Czech Republic in front. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
After the Czechs have iced the puck, they're now stuck in their end for well over a minute. Rychlovsky goes down after an unbelievable burst of speed. The pass is perfect to Philip Kofer, and it's 1-0.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. That is a turn of events. I mean, you had to think the Russians were seconds away from scoring. The Czechs could barely get to the puck. The guys that went off on the change were walking back to the bench.
It's amazing the energy when the puck hit the net, though.
So Kofer from Brylowski, and with under 3 to go here in the second period, the Czechs have the lead. Here they come again. Martin Long works it in. Long comes in, shoots a Askarov save, rebound! And that just skipped away from Tepley. Here's Tepley back with it. Tepley's a Chicago 4th round pick. Tepley. From the corner, spins and shoots, goes off the foot of Kanayazev. And Husnudinov drops it back. Brought back the other way by Novak. Pavel Novak works in, holds and shoots. It goes off the foot of Kirsanov. Now from the point, long shot by Hush. And that's gloved by Askarov.
We're going to get a look another look at the goal. Watch Jakub Rychlovsky, number 25. He makes this great pass. Everyone's flying up the ice here. They're going to go celebrate. Wait a minute. Here he comes. Watch him. He can't even move. I know he's excited. He's just trying to get to the guys. And by the time he gets there, they all leave. He's still sucking wind on the bench. What a play.
And off the draw, great chance there for the Czechs as well. Baranek turned away. Well, the first 10 minutes of this game looked like all Russia's. Bardakov plays it wide. When the Czechs came on in the second half of the period, it's been really physical.
Well, I'll tell you, Gord, if the Czechs are going to play like this, Group B is going to be murder. I mean, it's already hard enough.
Right.
But if they're going to play at this level, man, does this complicate the standings in Group B.
We got Russia, the United States, Sweden, the Czech Republic.
And just think what that does to the crossover games.
Right. If you want this team in a quarterfinal, the first place finisher,
yeah.
If the Czechs were to finish 4th, not to say they will, but we've seen the Russians more than once finish 4th in their group and then make a run. Back at the point, Chika, shot that goes wide. And the puck chipped over the glass on the play. Raj goes into it with Kuznetsov.
This has been a gritty, physical, well goaltended game. I have to say, strategy-wise, it's turned out just about perfect for 40 minutes here. They haven't been running around. I pointed out early that they were a little passive. I didn't like that 5 guys back. It gives Russia a little space, but they just have bent and bent and bent, but they haven't run out of position. I've been really, really impressed with the way the Czechs have played these 40 minutes.
We mentioned their last medal was a bronze in 2005. Their best finish in the 15 tournaments since, 5th. Done that a couple of times. The Czechs, though, have had a long, ongoing national conversation about keeping their players at home. David Pasternak stayed in Europe, played in Sweden for a while. But for a long time, more than half the Czech players played in the CHL. The centering pass by Firstov is knocked down in front. And then Chika can't knock it out. A race for it now. Tepley comes in as time expires. And the Czechs will go to the dressing room after 2 periods of play with a 1-0 lead. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our second intermission is coming up.
For more than 80 years, Esso has supported Canadian hockey with programs like the Esso Medals of Achievement, Esso Fun Days, and the Esso Cup through our long-standing partnership with Canada's national teams. Esso, proud premier partner of Hockey Canada.
Off day tomorrow for Canada, and then back at it on Tuesday against Switzerland. The Swiss are 0-2, hung in there with Finland today before falling 4-1. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the pregame show. The drop of the puck a little after 6 o'clock Eastern Time. James Duthie, Bob McKenzie, and your second intermission, and you use the term rope-a-dope to describe the Czechs in the first. That's one of the craziest rope-a-dope sequences I can ever remember in hockey. Let's watch the entire thing because they were collapsed and exhausted. It was like they were defending a 5-on-3, except there were 5 of them.
And you're right. I mean, some of this was induced by pure fatigue. But but it's also a mindset. And the mindset is pack it in, pack it in, pack it in. Take away the shooting lane, take away the passing lane, block a shot, leave your goaltender just to stop what he can see. And in the meantime, nothing's happening. There's no pressure whatsoever. And in fairness, and Gordon Ray pointed it out, these guys are exhausted. They're at the tail end of a shift. But the best part of that is coming up. Because you know what happens in men's league hockey? You're exhausted, you're exhausted, you're exhausted. Oh, I got a breakaway. Now, here it is. So now, all of a sudden, now the Russians look like they're flat-footed. They're caught. And it was a great look-off by Orlovsky at the last second to pull Askarov out of the net and get it over to Coffer, but my goodness. But it reminded me so much of men's league hockey where everybody's like, oh, I can't go, I can't play defense, I can't play defense. Oh, I can get a chance on offense, I'm in good shape.
Because 99% of the time, as soon as they get the puck, they're dumping it and getting the heck off the ice. But credit them for seeing the opportunity there. As you said, the Russians caught off a little bit, and that's the lone goal of the hockey game so far, and it happens every year. The Czechs always see, this is always the game they get up for more than anything else in group play when they're in the same group as Russia and they lead 1-0 through 2. So that's worked for Daniil Cheka and the Russians. Here he is with Ryan Rashog.
Well, Daniil, trailing by a goal heading into the third period, what do you feel you guys need to do a better job of in the third?
Just keep the game simple, and like the goal's going to come to us. Just have to wait a little bit and we're going to score. I think it's going to be no problem. Just relax a little bit in the dressing room and like go play a new period.
Early in the game, they seem to sit back and play defensive style. Is that difficult to try and find your game when they're doing that?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Like they're playing 5 guys in the neutral zone, but I don't know. We'll do our best.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Lots of Canadian connections. Played minor hockey with the Toronto Junior Canadians, drafted by the Guelph Storm, now in the KHL. 13th on Bob's pre-draft ranking list, could creep into the top 10, but his team down by 1 after 2.
Your partner of Hockey Canada, Tim Hortons, has supported minor hockey for over 35 years through the Timbits Hockey Program and its commitment to developing teamwork, confidence, and social skills in an inclusive environment. Timbits Hockey, where the first goal is having fun.
In the opening game on the power play, 0 for 1 here in this one. Carson and backhander scores! What a backhander by Juuso Parson, and Lundell for Hirvonen and back for Lundell. In front of the shot, score!
I don't know how to say tic-tac-toe and finish, but that was tic-tac-toe in English.
Winds his way in, poke check there by Cousins. What a play. Lead pass, he finds Tomasino busting in. Tomasino in, scores!
What a play by Cousins, and what a finish by Tomasino.
Orlovsky, Basin, backhand shot. Oh, what a save by Askarov, sprawling across to take it away.
Some of the best moments from day 3 here at the World Juniors. And there's always a moment where this tournament starts to get interesting. And maybe this is it with this game we're watching right now. The belief as you look at the standings for Group A was that the winner of Canada-Finland would win Group A and thus get the easier quarterfinal game. But when you look at Group B now, if the Czechs win this game, then Group B just becomes an absolute mess. You still have games like Russia versus Sweden, Sweden versus USA, and there's a possibility in there that Canada, let's say Canada wins Group A, that they could get somebody like Russia or the US or someone in the quarterfinals. So it's going to get really intriguing if the Czechs can hold on and beat the Russians in this one. All right, some tournament stuff. First of all, Dylan Holloway missed the game for Canada. Fairly late, the decision made to scratch him. What's the latest?
Well, it came as a surprise to us because we only found out just before warm-up that he wasn't going to be there. Also because he played the entire game against Germany and played 6 minutes in the third period of that game. But we went through the whole video from that game, and this is the only time we thought, you know, he took a hard hit in the corner there. And keep an eye on this one. Braden Schneider steps up and gets suspended for this hit to the head on the German player Schumacher. But Schumacher's helmet and Holloway's helmet basically bang off each other. And whether that was it or not, we're not exactly sure. We're not doctors here. But I can tell you this. He's listed upper body injury day to day, but we didn't, I don't get the sense that Team Canada seems particularly concerned about it. Famous last words, because until they clear you to go back in the lineup, you don't know. Day off tomorrow, so we'll just take it at face value for now that it's day to day.
IIHF takes its time. Canada didn't find out about the suspension until a couple of hours before the game. If that was worthy of a one-game suspension, the Schneider hit, then one in the Austria-USA game last night has to be that or more.
This one's got to be multiple games in my view, because this was way worse than what Schneider did. Schneider was not targeting the head. He was taller guy who hit the head, but it's still a penalty, still a suspension, no problem there. But Philip Wimmer steps up and boom, after the puck's been released. And in the IIHF, not only are head hits much more vigilant on it, but you can't, after the guy's gotten rid of the puck, their standard for interference is much greater. So, and that's about it. The good news is that Patrick Moynihan is I'm told, feels fine. He's going to be okay. So that's the really good news for Team USA. But that was a really bad hit, and it should be multiple games.
You're right. Schneider did nothing wrong except the headshot. That one was late. He leaves his feet and the headshot. So we wait the judgment on that, and we await a third period here. It's been a terrific hockey game so far. Czechs up 1-0 over the Russians. We'll take a break and get you to the third.
Well, it took a while, but Philip Kofer breaks open the scoring with 3.5 to go in the second period at the end of an incredible sequence for the Czech Republic. Rurlovsky moves the puck up the ice, and the Czechs take a 1-0 lead. The shots are dead even at 24. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. We've talked about it so many times. The formula for the upset is multifaceted, and the Czechs are playing it to a T.
They've done an amazing job through 40 minutes here, and one of the key components to any upset is you need good goaltending. And Lucas Parikh, Los Angeles Kings draft pick, has been perfect. 24 up and 24 down so far. The defense in front of him have done a real nice job. He's getting one shot to deal with, not many rebounds. But there's Philip Kofer. That's a block in the first period. He lays out, he's on the limp. Here's in the second period, dead tired at the end of a shift. He beaver taps for Rurlovsky. The pass is perfect. They've been on the ice for well over 1.5 minutes. An icing call in the middle of it. They hang on, and that's the only goal of this hockey game so far. A beauty by Kofer. And with 40 minutes in the books, the Czechs lead the Russians 1-0.
We talked about it before. The Czechs beat the Russians last year in the preliminary round, and they've won 3 of the last 5 meetings between the two countries. Mohamedulin back for it. So do the Russians now have an answer? And will they start the press? Chichikov plays it around to Mohamedulin. Mohamedulin swings that rink wide. Chichikov snaps the pass ahead. Groshev was pushed down by Kucherik, who's been a physical presence in the game. Bardakov drops it back. That's picked up by Teplin. Moves ahead with Misha. And they crisscross at the line. That puts them offside.
I think the one thing that Igor Larionov would like to see out of his team is a little bit of flow to this period. They have not been able to control the puck and play at a pace that they're comfortable with. The Czechs just simply haven't allowed it. What generally happens if you can't play at your pace, guys start trying to do it themselves. It turns into a one-on-one game, and that just bleeds the energy out of your team.
Ustudinov. And jumping in. Osh lost his stick on the play. But the Czechs have the puck back. Vitush. Rink wide he goes for Baranek. He lost the puck to Chayka. Swung back in the corner. Vitush. Dropped back. Juracek, a hard shot. Askarov makes the pad save. Vitush. Had a stick knocked out of his hands by Kuznetsov for a moment. Raska spins and shoots, and Askarov steers that away. Vitush back on it. The Czechs are changing. Podkolzin picks it off to Ustudinov. Ustudinov swings back. Long lead pass to Afanasyev. Kucherich stepped into him. Afanasyev trying to take it free for Amirov. Kirsanov. He's it back across. Tashkirov. Back for Kirsanov. That shot goes off the leg of Novak. Another blocked shot for the Czech Republic.
A little bit of a wrestling match that's been going on behind the play here. Kucheruk and I think that's Groshev back behind the play. Here's the block you're talking about. They've got 12 officially as Pavel Novak gets that one. But they have just plugged that middle of the ice up. It's like a moat in there. You go and you get lost. They've done a terrific job.
Bashkirov trying to center there for Afanasyev.
You know, Gordon, we often talk about when times are tough, you're looking for something to break in the game. One of your big boys has to do something. And, you know, Podkolzin's the captain. He's been here 3 times and been really quiet. Had one really good play in the first period, but
now a steal. Afanasyev moves in, 2 quick shots, and Panik makes the stop.
But that line with Amirov and Podkolzin, they've got to be a factor here.
Back at the point, Bashkirov shot, another block, that time by Hrilovsky. Chichikov drops it back to Mohamedulin. Kuznetsov. Settles things down as the Russians complete a change. Safonov in a battle there with Hash in the corner. Long trying to dig it free.
Let's go! Inside.
And Gritsik gets tangled up there in the corner with Lang, and so a face-off will take place in the Czech zone.
Afanasyev has been a player around the front of the net tonight. He's had a couple of opportunities. Here's this last play. This is Bashkirov. He's the centerman on the line. He's shooting a one-timer from 50 feet away. The guy that passed him the puck, the other forward, he's now out at the blue line. You're not going to score ever if you have 4 guys outside the top of the offensive circle. They've got 3 out there again.
Safonov a long drive and gloved easily by Parik.
So now if you look at that play again, it's a good shot. He shoots the puck hard, but Safonov is one of the forwards. He's now out between the defensemen. It's tough to cover. However, there's no need to cover it. You've got 3 Russians outside the tops of the circle. You outnumber them 5-2 around your goal. You'll take that all day long.
Ponomaryov wins the draw back. Kirsanov. Plays it back in. Ponomaryov tries to dig it free. He does. Bardakov back at the point. Kanayev able to hold the line. Groshev. Podkolzin. Ponomaryov better drop that back. Kirsanov. Back to Bardakov. Bardakov got thrown down in the corner. Kanayev goes back as Rashko is trailing on him. And Kanayev pivots quickly and moves the puck up the ice. Drops it back to Ponomaryov. A rink-wide pass. Groshev in, shoots and ripped it wide. Not sure if Parik got a piece of that in the way by. And now Mohamedulin drops it back.
Groshev's been around it tonight a little bit for the Russians. I've liked his game again.
Now Podkolzin swings that rink wide. A soft backhand on goal, and Parik's got that.
There is Vasily Podkolzin, the Canucks first rounder from 2019 in his 3rd tournament. He had a goal and 4 assists in last year's tournament in Ostrava. He's played 24 times for St. Petersburg in the KHL. It's really hard to get a handle on how things go. The minutes go up and down for the young guys quite a bit in that league.
Here's Mohamedulin with it. Off the inboards he goes, and Parik's got it. The Russians won the Karjala Cup in Finland. It's a men's tournament. Played against teams from Sweden, the Czech Republic, and Finland. And Igor Larionov lobbied to have this Russian national junior team play in that tournament. They won all 3 games. Askarov was terrific in goal.
Well, we've talked a lot about Askarov, and Scrambly has been at times, he's given up 1 goal. This isn't on him. They just haven't found a way to attack the net, to get more pucks from dangerous areas.
Kuznetsov plays it back. Chichikov. Down to Chinahov. That long shot. He's looking for the stick of Mahamadul, and that missed. Igor's nickname is the Professor, and he was known as a thoughtful, interesting player. Don't underestimate his stubbornness and toughness. He's a feisty person, and he will stand for what he believes in. Czech shot was blocked. Lang's got a chance. In comes Lang on the breakaway, scores!
Wow.
The Czechs optimistic again. Lang with the block of the Czech shot, and the goal to make it 2-0.
The 19-year-old Lang, who's played for 3 teams this year. In the last 2 seasons, he played in Kamloops in the Western Hockey League. He blocks this shot, and this will go between the arm and body of Askarov. The shot from Cheka hits him right in the shin pads. Thank you very much. The puck deflects straight forward. And that goes through the arm and body of Askarov. The Czechs joyful on the bench. And while it's a breakaway, that's a place the goalies don't love to get beat in. I mean, it's right through you. And now it's 2-0.
Lang has played in this building before, the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and also as a junior in the Western League for Kamloops and Moose Jaw. For the previous 2 years in the Western Hockey League. So the Czechs again. Quick transition, 2 goals.
Next couple of minutes here, critical to keep the lid on the game for the Czechs. Don't give, from their perspective, don't give Russia one quick one back, and then the tempo starts to turn. We've seen it so many times in this tournament. The young guys get fired up, something happens, and something negative when you've got a lot going on right, and they just can't re-corral the game. But they've played it letter perfect here for 46 minutes.
Afanasyev fires it down. This year is the 10th anniversary of Russia's last gold medal win at the World Junior. That was in Buffalo in the 2011 tournament. The sharp angle shot stopped by Parik. And Spiridonov got that away. And it bounces by Mahamadulin and back down the ice. Askarov out to play it, being forced there by Novak. Chichikov winds his way in. Kucherik gets a hard bump there, but puck stays in. Cheka with it. Rink wide he goes. That shot by Safonov was knocked away easily. Safonov leaves it there for Gritsuk.
Get off the body. Off and on the puck.
A 5-man scrum for it. Back it goes to Cheka. Feeds it back. Kuznetsov, a long shot. Penalty coming out of the Czech Republic. 12:56 to go in the third period. Russia's going to the power play, but down 2-0 as Martin Lang gets the insurance goal.
Michael Gut in the penalty box for high sticking. This is a high stick. Oof. Safonov takes that in the side of the face, not cut fortunately, and so it's a 2-minute power play and an opportunity for Russia to get back into this game.
Didn't get much going in the first. Had one shot, weren't that dangerous. Need one here. And Ray, you know, we'll talk about the goals and the play by the forwards. For the Czechs this evening, the shot blocking by their D and the physical play.
They have not given any free ice tonight. They have laid it all out here.
Mahamadulin takes the return pass from Afanasyev, winds and shoots. Another shot block. That again from Kucherik. Chichakov tries to center for Podkolzin. Podkolzin to Chichakov rather. Mahamadulin. Afanasyev, a centering pass, and Podkolzin trying to bank that in, and Parik gloves it.
Parikh taking a deep breath there, and he blew a shoe on the dump in there. All of a sudden, he's on his backside, scrambling up into position. But Colson is trying to bank this off either the goal stick or the defenseman's foot. There was nobody else around the puck.
Spiridonov wins the draw. Now plays it back in the corner. Kurka tries to move that ahead. But the Czechs can't clear it out. Amirov taken down. Another penalty coming up.
Oh, it looks like both.
He's going to take. I think he's going to take one for the trip and one for the dive, maybe. Here's Olivier Gouin with the call.
Czech number 18, minor penalty for holding. Russia number 27, minor penalty for embellishment.
Yeah, they got Amirov for the dive. So the power play will remain for a minute.
Well, there's the slash earlier as Spiridonov left the ice. Got it just on top of the cuffs.
Now Husnudinov for the face-off against Rashka.
This is that top Russian group here.
Ahmadulin plays it across. Afanasiev fires it wide. Chichikov got clobbered there by Rashka. He's down. Ahmadulin shoots. And is played ahead, and Chichikov is still down. And play continues. He got crunched there. Afanasiev works it back for Chichikov. He gives to Juracek. Getting chippy now. 25 seconds to go in the Russian power play. Korka tied up his man. Here's Chichikov.
Another block.
Another block that time by Juracek. And Chichikov is slowly motoring back to the Russian bench.
Chichikov has that shot, and it's going to get blocked by Juracek. He's the defenseman. He comes aggressively out to the top of the circle. There's Kofor right behind him. This was the check earlier on Chichikov. Easily could have been a boarding penalty, as Raska, who was suspended in the first pre-tournament game, missed the first game of the tournament. A dangerous hit. Lucky he got away with that.
Here's Sanov back at the point. 10 seconds to go in the Russian power play. Ponomarev with a pass. It goes off a stick. Up and out of play. The face-off will stay in the Czech zone, but just 5 seconds left to go in this power play.
Gord, the Russians are having trouble, of course, getting through here on the power play. Watch the way that they set this up. The Czechs are in a straight line defensively because there's nobody on this side of the ice. When Afanasiev comes up on this side, they can play like this. There's nobody here. There's no out. If you're going to make that play up on the one side, you have to have an out on the power play.
And ISM in, shoots at the Flex wide. Bardakov with it. No shots for the Russians on the power play. 3 shot blocks by the Czechs. And now Groshev back to pick it up. Shots are 28-26 in favor of Russia. 2-0 the Czechs lead. Bardakov with it. The last time Russia was shut out at the World Junior Championship, another penalty coming up here. And this time it's going to be Kubicek.
Czech number 23, minor penalty and misconduct for checking from behind.
So that's 2 and 10. So that's a big loss. Kubicek is an important defenseman for this team.
It was the shove from the boards. To be honest with you, Gord, I thought the other one was worse. The Raska one was worse than that. And so now they lose Kubicek, an 18-year-old defenseman who played last year and played 23.5 minutes in the tournament last year as a 17-year-old. A key defenseman for them. And now they'll have to kill off yet another power play. The Russians a second opportunity to cut this lead in half.
So Mujik will serve it. He doesn't kill penalties. So just to finish the thought, the last time the Russians were shut out in a World Junior game, the gold medal game in 2012 in Calgary. That was the Mika Zibanejad golden goal. Chichikov. Back from Mohamedulin. Mohamedulin feeds it back. Chichikov to Afanasiev. Afanasiev with a shot that's deflected wide.
Haven't seen much of Amirov after that hit that he took earlier in the game.
Nyman sends it down. Chichikov winds his way with Afanasiev. Afanasiev throws that towards the goal. It flutters wide. Puck Colson comes in for it. Racing to it is Jiricek. Fires that by the ear of Chichikov and back down the ice. Russians get fresh players on the ice now. Jacob slides it back. Askarov leaves it there for Safonov. Inside a minute to go in this power play. Fired down by Spiridonov. Chinahov had it knocked away, and it's bumped back to center ice. Safonov with it as the Russians regroup. Jacob. Now it's bumped back to Safonov. Winds his way and shoots. That whistled wide. Rashka digging for it. Plays that to an open side. Trutil trying to bank it out. Can't. Here's Cheka with it. Walks it back across, and Chinahov a shot. Rebound! Save made in tight by Parik on Safonov.
The Russians starting to press it down a little tighter. The one-timers aren't from so far away. I like a little bit better on this power play, but they're running out of room here.
Spiridonov for Gutsuk. Plays it back around Safonov. Chinahov. Back for Gutsuk. Power play's over. Mujik steps out. 2 shots for the Russians on that power play. 8:20 to go here in the third period. Still 2-0 in favor of the Czech Republic.
Gordon, don't see Rodion Amirov on the bench. Remember, he was hit earlier by Adam Raska, and they were tending to him a cut around his mouth, but not been involved here.
He did come back.
Yep. Don't see him on the bench now, though.
Not there now. Yep. Czechs have the lead here in the third. Here's the Gatorade shift of the game for the third.
1-0. A wrist shot by Cheka that hits Lang right in the shin pads. It's a breakaway under the arm of Askarov, and the Czechs have a 2-0 lead that they hold with 8 minutes left. Cheka's shot blocked, and now they'll have to climb back.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
My mistake earlier on. Amirov was serving the embellishment penalty. He's just not been much of a factor here, nor is the top-end players for Russia as they try to push through.
Kosanov with inside 8 to go in the third for Ponomaryov. Kanaya's have a long shot that was blocked in front. Up from a sharp angle. Bardakov flipped it wide. Tepley throws it back to center ice. Kirsanov goes back with Lang watching him. Bardakov pivots back, throws it there. Bashkirov walks right in. A backhand shot. Poke check there. Another chance. Afanasiev can't get it away. And Vitush plays it back to center ice. Mujik goes off the stick of Chichikov over the glass and out of play. Czechs play the United States on Tuesday. Same day Russia plays Austria. And that Czech-USA game gets interesting as both teams are 1-1, or would likely be 1-1 if the Czechs were to win today.
Yes.
The decision desk not quite ready to call this one.
Still a little bit to go.
Trutil leaves it there for Baranek. The top offensive players for the Czechs haven't been on the ice for a while with all these penalties. Now centered, fired right on by Baranek. Vitush back to pick it up. Slides it across and fired in by Kucherik, who's been a beast for the Czechs tonight. Mohamedulin to pick it up.
Trying to think of a way the Czechs could play better than this. I mean, it's been a perfect game. They've sucked the energy away from the Russians. The skill game that the Russians are wanting to play just is not there. This play's 5 feet offside. Gord, that's the one-on-one play I was talking about.
Closed captioning of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Bet99.net, Canada's newest destination for free sports information, odds, and casino. Every game starts at Bet99.
The way the Czechs are playing, you half expect Yaroslav Spacek to go out and take a shift. Remember that? By the time he was done, there wasn't much left to Spacek.
No.
It hadn't been treated medically somehow.
He was a good player. Built like a fire hydrant.
Roshev works in. He's poked Czechness more that you're talking about, Ray, the one-on-one play.
You just saw it with Podkolzin carrying the puck. He wants to make something happen.
Here's Tepley with it now. Tepley. Wrap around, try Askarov down. Rebound in front. Lang turned away. Second chance. Throws it back in, and Askarov gloves that. Almost a tap in there for Mishak. It's the Czechs and the Russians. Always entertaining, always passionate, and usually close. 2-0.
Who do you cheer for?
No one. There are no redeeming characters in that show. Kostadinov couldn't chip that in. And look at Askarov get tied up with the official, and the puck loose for a moment. Now stolen back. Askarov's just back in his crease and makes the stop. Baranek with a chance there.
Good, bad, or otherwise, he does not play a boring game. And neither of them, of course, the official and the goaltender, Askarov, saw each other. The official's going backwards. Askarov is coming out to the puck, and that could have been really bad. See, the official's trying to stay out of the way. Askarov's got to get to it.
He wasn't expecting Askarov to go charging out, probably.
Fortunately, everybody okay.
That was referee Kyle Kowalski. I didn't see you. Five to go in the third. Kuznetsov with it. Snaps that pass ahead to Amirov. And Amirov collides there with Kucherov. It's banked by Jacob down the edge. Look at Rashka race to it. Askarov is going to come up. Oh, Rashka goes hard into the end boards.
Uh-oh, that.
And is up and limping.
Hopefully it's just a little bit of a tweak. That's how guys break their ankles when they hit the boards like that.
And Rashka has gone right to the Czech bench.
Well, he's in some discomfort here at the bench, and I can just hope that he's okay.
Kanayev up for Safonov. A rink-wide pass is knocked down. Flipped out by Kofer, who scored the first goal late in the second period to give the Czechs the 1-0 lead. Swozil lays it back out. Kanayev through the middle. Grutzik up to Safonov. That's broken up. Now played back to Kanayev. He can't handle it. The puck comes back to center ice. Safonov tied up in the corner. Stays on it. Tries to play that back. Here's Kanayev with it. Kanayev back to Safonov. Kanayev winds and shoots. He pounded that wide. Rebound loose in front. They battled for it. Spiridonov couldn't get a shot away. Played back by Grutzik. Kanayev. That shot pinball off a couple of legs. Now Grutzik back with it. Mohamedulin to Kanayev. Mohamedulin leans on that shot. That's blocked by Tepley. Lifted in the air. And now Tepley to race with Mohamedulin. And they battle for it behind the Russian goal, picked out by Mohamedulin. Palomaria. See that? sideboards. It's flipped back out by Cloutier. Kuznetsov. To Grosjev. Chichikov snaps the pass ahead to Bardakov. Ponomaryov busting in. He's taken down from behind by Kucherik. Back at the point. Here's Chichikov. Across to Kuznetsov with a shot that goes wide. And now the Czechs flip it back out. 2.5 to go in the third.
That's good news. Rashka's back on the ice.
Yeah. He dodged one there. Krisanov, up for Hustadinov. Did Larionov pull his goaltender here, you wonder? His predecessor, Valery Bragin, would not.
No. That wasn't even in the thought.
Chinahov.
They're not even looking at
Colson. Chinahov moves back in, and Parik got the stick out on that and knocks it up and out of play. Parik is shaken up.
Okay for Parik as he gets run into by Chinahov. Oh, it's actually Chinahov's stick goes underneath the mask. Here's the Rashka play. He's racing for the puck. He loses an edge and watch his ankles go into the boards, and then he smashes his backside in there. He was on the limp back to the bench pretty clearly. You can see he wasn't feeling so great. And all the way up to where he crashed into the boards, and as you mentioned, Gord, it's almost like he dodged one there.
Oh. I was doing the game with Marco Sturm, slid into the boards against Colorado and shattered his ankle. We've seen it more than once. Just there's no out of bounds in this sport.
And a play there that, I mean, the only other way that play's avoided is if he just pulls up at the goal line, and yet it's just not in the computer to do that. So the Russians will pull the goaltender here.
1:51 to go in the third, rather, and Larionov down 2. Brings Askarov to the bench. So 6 skaters on 5.
So you'll have Safonov take the draw here.
Amirov taps it back to Kirsanov. Chichikov for Kirsanov. Chichikov leans in that. A shot blocked there. That staggered Kozlovsky.
There's another one.
That knocked his blade out of it.
Another one?
I think so, yeah. He's crawling back to the Czech bench.
Oh, that was a great escape right there.
He almost literally tunneled his way off the ice. Now a race for it. As Nyman is on rushing. Chichikov for Safonov. Back to Podkolzin. Vasily Podkolzin. Winds across the top. Podkolzin long wrist shot. Punched away from Parik. Minutes ago in the period, another penalty coming up. Amirov with it. And finally the Czechs touch up. It's Baranek. And so the Russians will get a power play here with 54 seconds to go. And it's Baranek who goes off.
Czech number 24, minor penalty for tripping.
There's the trip on Podkolzin as Baranek goes off in the first period. There was a shot block, and the Czechs had to scramble off the edge. Look at this escape here, though. This is outstanding work. It's almost like the bobsleigh.
Yeah. All right, so 54 seconds to go.
There's another one.
Hard shot block there.
Man, these penalty killers are eating pucks all over the place. This is really impressive.
So it's 6 on 4. Ponomaryov, Chichikov, Grosjev, back across to Ponomaryov. Chichikov. Grosjev to the side of the goal. Kuznetsov back at the point. Chichikov with it. Across to Ponomaryov. In shoots. He wasn't that high and wide. Grosjev trying to hold the line. He can't.
Unbelievable night of hockey here by the Czechs. Unbelievable. That is a perfect game of hockey.
Their first shutout against the Russians since the gold medal game in 2000. And look at that pileup in the Czech end. Parik stops 30 shots for the shutout. And the Czechs continue their recent good play against the Russians. They've won 4 of the last 6 games. Parik is never going to get from under that pile.
It's down there somewhere.
Czechs are 1-1. Russians are 1-1. Americans are 1-1. But this was a night for the guys killing penalties, blocking shots, and playing really physical. This was old school hockey.
Didn't start the first game of the tournament as Nick Malik played. Lucas Parik was sensational, and the players in front of him laid it all out on the line today. That was a really impressive performance by the Czech national team.
And now we'll get the player of the game presentations and the Czech anthem.
Presented by Explore Edmonton, the visitor economy and venue management organization for Edmonton. Each winner will be awarded with a custom wallet from local maker Close General Leather Company. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Russia is number 20, le numéro 20, Kirill Kirsanov. The best player of Team Czech Republic est le numéro 1, number 1, Lukáš Parik. Et maintenant, pour l'hymne national, for the national anthem of Team Czech Republic.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
Well, these are the kind of nights and games that make this tournament great. The Czechs, after losing 7-1 to Sweden, probably their best performance we've seen in this tournament in the last decade or so. Almost a perfect game against the heavily favored Russians, and Group B is now an absolute mess, and this tournament starts to get really fun really fast. As they leave the ice, that's a gold medal type celebration for this Czech team, and look at them as they head in the hallway towards the dressing room. Just a massive victory. The most important game besides the playoff round games for the Czechs is always the game against the Russians, and you can tell by that emotion what this victory means. Day off for Canada tomorrow, then Tuesday against Switzerland, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The implications, by the way, for Canada in this one, if they win Group A, now that the Czechs have beaten the Russians, I mean, it's wide open. They could play Russia. They could play the Americans, the Swedes. They could still play the Czechs. It's going to be a really interesting few days from the bubble in Edmonton.